Guys, it's the return of 5-decade fight trainer, Maestro James Gogue, and he's going to break down exactly what he saw in the ring at the T-Mobile Arena. David Benavidez gets a unanimous decision over David Morrell. Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue. Guys, welcome. Happy Sunday to all of you guys. And what I want to know is, who was that young guy in that last photo with Joe Frazier and Floyd Mayweather Jr.? I'll tell you what, guys, if it's Sunday night after a big fight, that means only one thing. We are seeking the counsel of the guy who I like to call the Filipino Emmanuel Stewart, guy with the best eyes in the business, the incomparable Maestro James Gogue. James, how are you doing, brother?
Hey, Joe. I'm doing good. I was off for a couple of weeks. I had some, some business I had to take care of, so I couldn't get distracted from that. But, we had how many good fights we had? We had two good fights yesterday night. That's worth talking about. The other two are, were dog shit. So we'll talk about them a little. So, but the main event and the Pitbull Cruz fight was it was good. It was good. It was it worth $80 motherfucking dollars? Nope. I got it. I watch it here free in Mexico, on ESPN Plus. Thank God. So they show it here for free. I don't have to pay for that shit. Now, Joe, I believe boxing should be free to the what do you call it, mainstream. No, look at the NFL. I agree. Look at the NFL, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, NBA playoffs, the NBA championship, baseball, etc. They don't motherfucking when it starts getting into the playoffs or the Super Bowl, they start charging you. They start charging you for it, like boxing does. It's free. And, That's why boxing, it's lost a lot of its mainstream appeal because, one of the reasons is, because they charge you for this shit. And everybody knows when they start charging you for something, it reaches a smaller audience. And over the years, their greed, these motherfuckers greed to do pay-per-view shows over and over and over again, oversaturate the market with pay-per-view. It's drove the fan base away, or it hasn't grown the fan base because it's not shown to the mainstream general market where everybody can see. Look at that Netflix thing with Jake Paul. They had over 120 million views. That's what boxing should be about. Okay.
Well, Coach, I don't know
what you heard. Everybody, Joe, one second. Shown to everybody, not just what do you call it? This pay-per-view shit, man. This is ridiculous. I mean, it's gotten out of hand, and that's why boxing, right now it's not a sport that in the United States it's what do you call it? A niche market. Yeah, it's not mainstream.
Well, I don't know if you heard, Coach, but it looks like on March, I want to say 24th, I think it is. Maybe maybe it's 27th. I don't know, but the last weekend in March, it's going to be Jake Paul versus Logan Paul as boxing, if that's what you want to call it, returns to HBO. It's going to be on HBO Max one night only, and they're paying both Jake Paul and Logan Paul over $20 million apiece.
Oh God. Well, he drew the numbers to Netflix, so you know what I mean. He drew the numbers over
and
there.
There it is. There it is. There it is, guys. I tell you what, we are going to start things off while we wait to get a. Well, we're going to get into the main event of the evening. Obviously, Coach Gogue's thoughts on the main event. We'll talk about Benavidez's, well, eye-opening and very impressive performance over the young and very athletically gifted David Morrell Jr. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to wait a little bit until we get some more people in the chat. But right now, guys, we want to introduce you to the greatest Kenyan accent of all time. Here it is.
Terrible fan takes on Twitter/X.
Let me know when you can see this, Gogue.
I see it.
Okay, very good. Guys, and obviously, this is care of the boxing voice, Ching Gao. Here we go, Gogue. I want to get your thoughts on this terrible fan take of none other than the worst manager in boxing, Bill Haney.
Oscar De La Hoya is mad. He said it wasn't going to happen. It was no need to happen. It was all of the other shit. Looks like he was trying to kill the fight too. So I don't know what's going on over there. But then when Ryan says that he wants to have an exhibition in Japan, Oscar says that he wants to sue. Nobody says shit.
He made a whole clapback about you. He said you're the worst manager in boxing.
And Devin, undisputed, something that Oscar has never been able to do is have all the belts in one division on lock. It takes a minute and you got to get to it to get through it. Because it's better me saying that my son can fire me than me saying I could fire my son. That's what I did for my family. Put him in position. A position that you would love for me to get fired so you could take him over there and fuck him just like you fucking Ryan Garcia. Ryan would love to just travel the world and negotiate his business and not have you there, Oscar De La.
Okay, that's enough, guys. Coach Gogue, your thoughts on the delusional Bill Haney, and is Oscar De La Hoya right? Should Devin Haney just can his old man and, well, just take care of business himself? And is that the only way he can build his level of attraction? Because let's just face it, right now, his stock is at an all-time low.
And, you know, Bill's done a good job with the kid. You know, he took him from zero all the way to where he's at. They made a lot of money, millions of dollars. Hey, I can't fault a guy for that. You know what I mean? He's, you know, and he invested a lot of his money into Devin coming up. You know, when he went to Mexico, starting off his career, you know, buying all those fights and, you know, just created that social media presence and everything you need nowadays. So, yeah, Bill's done a good job, man. I'm not going to complain about Bill. You know, they made millions of dollars, and that's hard to do in this damn sport. So, you know, as far as Oscar saying that he needs another manager and everything, you know, that's his opinion. My opinion is, hey, man, you know, a fighter, they wouldn't be saying this shit if Devin Haney won that fight against Ryan Garcia. The fighter's got to win, man. It don't matter who your damn manager is. Your fighter wins, and he looks good, and he, you know, creates a lot of excitement. Everything takes care of itself. But the fighter's got to do his job, okay? I don't care how good a manager you are or how good a trainer you are. The fighter's got to do his job in the ring, all right? That's the ultimate. That's the final destination. It's the fighter doing his job and looking good and winning and creating excitement. So, you know, Devin, you know, he got knocked out his last fight. He didn't look good. He looked terrible. You know what I mean? He was getting hit with everything. And that's why everybody, you know, first thing they do, oh, he needs a new manager, a new coach and all that and everything, you know. And Bill, I'm not going to rip Bill. I don't even know the guy. Never met him. Never, you know, I never went up to shake Devin Haney's hands. I never met the guy, but they've done a good job. They've done a good job, man. They made millions of dollars in their career. They live in this nice, big, fat mansion in Vegas. They're doing good, man. I am not complaining. That's every guy's dream is to be where they're at. So, man, you know, Bill, you know, he has a right to, you know, that's his son. and he's done a very, very good job of getting his son good paydays.
Well, there it is. There's a take of the coach. And guys, look, let's just cut to the chase, guys. Let's go right to the main event. I can't wait to hear what Coach has to say about this, because talk about getting hit with everything. Coach, what happened to David Morrell Jr.'s defense last night? It looked like he couldn't defend himself against that uppercut. He was getting tagged all night long. He looked like a bobblehead during some rounds. Coach Gogue, what went wrong for Ronnie Shields and team David Morrell Jr.?
Well, first, I didn't talk about it last week, but, a long time I talked about it. That goes experience factor, you know what I mean? He's never been in a tough fight like this. He's never had to test his mettle. He did last night. And to me, he passed the test. Even though he didn't win, he passed the test. Now, will this fight get better? It will get him better? Yeah. But what really is going to get him better is the skill sets he was missing in the fight. Why he was getting hit. Okay? His defense. He's basically just had a high guard defense, and he squared up a lot. That's what got him hit by that left uppercut. See, that's all. This is his only defense right here inside. He just keeps his hands up. Okay? He's got, he's athletically, athletically, and physically gifted where he can, he has long arms where his elbows cover from here all the way to his head. So, you know what I mean? That high guard defense provides a shell to protect him from them punches and everything. But let me tell you, when you fight at this level, you're going to have, you better have more than just a high guard defense. You're going to have different variations of defense when you're fighting a good combination puncher, pressure fighter like Benavidez. He just stood here all night. He stood like this all night, squared up. Benavidez found ways to penetrate that hard guard defense because, when you're only using one variation of defense out there, a good fighter would know how to, he would know how to create the openings or find the openings, and he did. And Benavidez would just step at a, just lean at an angle and rip that left uppercut all day, and Morrell would just sit there like this. You know what I mean? When Benavidez was throwing that left uppercut from that angle, you don't see it coming. And if you don't practice in the gym, I always say defense, how important defense is when you're fighting in these elite level matchups. Okay. Now, defense is not just this many types of variations of strategy when it comes to defense. It's not just keeping your fucking hands up, man, because good fighters will find a way to penetrate that guard like Benavidez. You got defense, changing up your, to me, you should have a variety of defensive tactics going into the fight when you're fighting your opponent, okay? If one ain't working, then you switch to the other. Now, me personally, I like to teach that shoulder roll. That would have took away that left uppercut. The first time I would have got hit by it inside, I would have told my fighter, hey, do not square up on the inside. Well, I would have told him that, it would have been done in practice. All right. It would have been done in training, so he wouldn't have made those mistakes in the fight. And, working on, because everybody knows some uppercuts of Benavidez is one of his best weapons, especially when he gets close. And when an opponent square up like this, that's when he loves to rip them the left uppercuts to right uppercuts, man. Because he's got a good set of eyes. He sees his target, and he knows what he can hit his opponent with. But once, once you get inside, in training, you got to prepare yourself for all the types of punches your opponent's going to throw. You got to know, the ways to block them uppercuts, southpaw. If he squares up like this with his hands up, he's going to get hit by him like you saw last night. So, you got to learn how to point that lead shoulder, have them hands up, elbows tucked in, and knowing how to, that left uppercut's coming, parry it down. Or that right uppercut's coming, period. You know what I mean? Block the punch with your opposite hand of your opponent. Like if he throws that right uppercut, you block it, with your you block it with your left hand. If he throws that left uppercut, you parry it down with your right hand. Just work on it. And just when you're in the gym, you're shadow boxing. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're working on that with your fighter. You know, as a coach, I like to throw one of the things when I'm shadow boxing, going in the fight, is working on defense and working on the punches that the opponent's going to throw, and we're working on defensive tactics on how to neutralize it. Okay, you know, knowing how to block it. Oh yeah, you know, short little head movement. You know, he throws them uppercuts, just lean back a little, lean back. Well, you know, lean back, you know, slip. You know what I mean? Block those body shots. You know, shift some weight into them body shots where you know you neutralize the power of those punches. And that shoulder roll, I like that, man. When you know, when you just right here, you get inside, switch up. You know what I mean? Switch that shoulder roll, take away them uppercuts. If you try to throw that left uppercut, you know, you could roll with it. If you try to throw that right uppercut, you can, you know what I mean? You can catch it, and you know what I mean? You know, you can switch up. Then you know you could, what do you call it? Move your head and drop up and down. You know, bent. You know, like Mayweather, he gets up and down. He uses that head and upper body movement up and down, changing levels to let the punches go over your head. Morrell was too high. Okay, it's fucking easy target to hit. I could have hit Morrell. Closed my eyes. He was right there like a punching bag. Okay, he moved his head sometimes, but a lot of times he just stood there. So you know, just changing defensive tactics when you're on the inside. See, when you fight a very skilled pressure fighter like Benavidez, who knows how to attack you at all angles. He knows how to, you know, he knows how to create those openings with his combinations. He knows how to set up those combinations. He knows how to set traps and everything. You just can't have more than, you know, you got to be able to defend against his vast variety of punches that are going to come at you. And that's when you got to have, well, you know what I mean? You got to have defense in the pocket. A lot of fuckers think fighter, you know, defense is just at range and distance, you know, like Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, Ward, using your footwork, keeping your jab at range, keep it in his face. You know what I mean? A little bit of head movement to slip the punches. But when you get in the pocket, motherfuckers, 99% of the fighters out there don't know how to defend themselves at close range. They don't have no defensive skills to, you know, stay in the pocket and not get hit with the solid punches consistently. Duran was a master. That's where I learned a lot of my shit was from Roberto Duran and Tony, especially Duran. He had that ability, that radar right here, just to evade the punches. You know, that uppercut comes, he'll evade it, you know, catch it. He'll roll with the punch. You throw that right hand, he'll roll with it beautifully. Fought Davey Moore. Davey Moore, he kept his left hand low, and he was setting the trap for Moore. He was letting him throw that right hand because he knew he wasn't going to get hit with the full power of the punch. He would just roll with it. Boom. That punch, Davey Moore would throw that right hand and Duran would just roll with it. Or he just slip inside. Duran had that Wilfredo Benitez type ability, that radar right here to evade the punches at close range, you know, just slip it slightly, you know, and to block it too. Block it, roll with it, you know, drop down under it, roll under it. All that shit you got to learn, man. You just can't keep your motherfucking hands up. You know, that's just all these little types of defensive skills, tactics. You could change in the fight. You know, this right here, then you come right here, getting that shoulder roll. Where he's a southpaw, come in that shoulder roll, block it, start. You know what I mean? It starts making Benavidez think more. Oh shit, okay. How do I penetrate this? How do I penetrate that defense? How do I penetrate that defense? And if you keep switching up your defensive tactics, you know what I mean? It's going to slow him down mentally. Like, you know, he keeps changing it from here to here to here to head movement to bobbing and weaving. Man, you know, Floyd Mayweather is a master at changing defensive tactics during the fight. You'll see Floyd like this, then you'll see him in that shoulder roll. You know, then you'll see him moving his head. Then you'll see him using his footwork, moving in and out of range. But one thing Benavidez didn't establish last night, the jab at range and distance. That's a defensive tactic, okay? Okay, see, the jab is the number one punch in boxing because you could use it as an offensive weapon and a defensive weapon. And defensively, you know, fuck, Morrell's got the ability. He's got the God-given talent to do it, you know, to make his jab his number one weapon, you know, keeping it at range. Boom, boom. And when you're a southpaw, And you have that advantage when you fight a right-handed fighter. And when you can land that jab. Winky Wright's a perfect example. Winky Wright had a dominant jab. That's why that's what made him who he. That's what made him the Hall of Famer he is. He had that dominant jab, just putting it in your face, sticking. That's something that bitch ass Morrell didn't have last night. He didn't have no fucking dominant jab. You know what I mean? He was just pounding with his jab and all that, trying to land that left uppercut, that straight left hand. But Benavidez was aware of that shit. You know what I mean? He had his hands up nice and tight where he was blocking a lot of those punches. And his offensive attack was limited. What's that guy, Morrell? How many body punches did you see him throw that were effective last night? See, when you're a southpaw, one of the most effective weapons at middle range, medium range, or a little bit short, long range, that straight left hand to the body. Throw those combinations on top, then come back with that straight left to the body. Gives you something to think about. And if you hit your opponent right, he's gonna, be, what do you call it? It's gonna dissuade him from just walking in. So that straight left-handed, but Shakira does that real good. Stevenson, he'll throw that left-handed, mix your combinations, touch it, and throw that left hand to the body just to, have you go like that to slow you down, get you out of your rhythm. And when he's on the inside, he was a headhunter all night, man. Morrell, you didn't see him throw no effective body punches. See, when you're fighting a tough physical fighter like this, like Benavidez, you got to hit him with some body shots to slow him down. All right, you got to hit him with some good body shots to slow him down. And when you hit him with some good body shots, it's going to make your headshots more effective. Okay, it creates an opening upstairs. What I'm trying to say. And there's a lot of other shit the motherfucker should do. Look, to me, a lot of people don't see what I see because this is my experience in boxing. Everything I'm telling you, motherfuckers out. This is world-class shit I'm giving you, motherfuckers. Right? Holy shit. When I say that there's so much stuff he's got to learn, this is all the stuff he's got to learn. And the angles, you're inside, he's a southpaw, step at angles. Instead of trying to fight Benavidez head on, man, and try to get in a physical, head-on contest, just when you step at angles to take advantage of his over-aggressiveness, slide at angles, catch him, okay? Pivot around him, Lomachenko. All you got to do is look at Lomachenko, the master at working angles on his opponent. How many times did you see that motherfucker Morrell do that? None. Does he have the talent and ability to do it? Oh, fuck yeah. That boy is physically gifted as a fighter as I've seen in a while. But he doesn't have that skill set to work at angles like a long. Oh, Bam. That little bitch-ass Bam. Oh, he picked it up for Lomachenko. So he's doing good. Canizales was a master of angles. Orlando, Hall of Famer. Oh, yeah. But the thing is, all these little things I'm talking to you about, all these little high-level shit, he just uses base shit. That's all. He doesn't have a dominant jab to be a good defensive weapon. He doesn't have, his footwork is athletic and gifted, but it's not intelligent. He don't know how to use his footwork. That's, move in and out of range to confuse you and everything. Motherfucker, he got a lot to learn, that bitch, Morrell. You know what I mean? That bitch-ass motherfucker, he got a lot of stuff to learn. And this is all the stuff I'm talking about. See, when I tell people this, they look at me like, you know what I mean? But I've been in this shit, and stuff. And when like I said, I'm giving you motherfuckers a masterclass on what he should do to get better. And now this fight made him better because you know what? He's shown me the number one thing. Besides all that, he's shown me this: the balls, the grit, the toughness to battle back. Okay, to try to make the fight competitive, which it was. But it was the skill sets, all the stuff I'm talking to you about that was missing that could have got him over the top. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say is you need this shit when you fight these elite level matchups. You need these extra skill sets I talked to you about to get them over the hump. Because this is why they call this level the elite level, the creme de la creme, the cream of the top. Okay, it's not basic stuff, fundamentals. That shit works, but you got to add more dimensions to your game offensively and defensively. More important. And I will say, Joe, if you're not taught how to, if you're not taught defenses, if you're not taught defense at close quarters, you're gonna get. It's gonna show. It's gonna show in the fight. But anyway, yeah, Morrell, I like, a physically gifted fighter, but I knew going into the fight, that motherfucker never had a tough fight. He never showed me all this shit I was telling you. He just got away with it just by natural, pure God-given ability. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that bitch ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Good job, baby Benavidez. You know what I mean?
Well, I tell you what, Coach, let's go to this then.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Hey, Joe.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying when I explain this?
Everything. And honestly, guys, this should be on Patreon. It's so good. Like, honestly, I've never seen a coach on YouTube break it down and explain it this well.
To me, Joe, it's common sense. You know
Well,
you're going in the fight.
Sense, Gogue.
Look, Joe, you're going in the fight. You know what the guy's best offensive weapons is. You know his combinations. If you're
That's
a fucking coach, you know what he's gonna do. That's why this is when the defensive tactics come into handy. It's to shut down his best offensive weapons. All right, and teaching all these, teaching your fighter and working on defense in practice. You want it to be in your muscle memory, so when it goes to the fight. You know what I mean? You just got to remind your fighter. You're not teaching a motherfucker. You motherfuckers out there, when you're not teaching them nothing out there when in a fight. You're just refreshing in his head what you're practicing in the gym. Okay, you're not telling them, okay, hey man, you got to go to the body. Make sure you set your feet good. Make sure you point that shoulder. Make sure you get some weight on that right leg and rotate that shoulder and put. Fuck, that shit should have been in the gym. It's about reminding your fighter of the the strategy of the game plan in the fight and everything, man. Yeah. So it's too late when you tell your fighter, "Oh, you got to go to the body. You got to go." How the fuck are you going to go to? If you don't practice it in the gym, you're not getting that muscle memory, that repetition in the gym. How the hell are you going to do it in the fight? You ain't. I know that. I know that. I know that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, true words were never spoken, guys. And let's get Gogue's take on this first fact or fiction of the evening. Fact or fiction, Coach, the Mexican Monster will take on the Beterbiev Beast later this year in Saudi Arabia for the undisputed light heavyweight championship. Fact or fiction?
Shit, money talks, baby. And the Turk is, he's rolling out, he's opening that checkbook. So, boxing is all about the Benjamins, baby. And if Turkey shows that love, I guarantee you Benavidez in this camp. Let's do it.
Well, I tell you what, did you see anything that, David Benavidez has to work on if he hopes to have success against Arthur Beterbiev later this year?
Be a more effective boxer at range and distance, his jab. Just do everything he's doing right now, man, basically. It's just, can he keep that motherfucker out, that physically strong, insanely strong, better be off him as the fight goes on. You know what I mean? That better, and if he gets hit, how's he going to react? How is he going to respond? That better be if his whole. But let's see, that fight can, Turkey. He's the the biggest sugar daddy in boxing. Okay, he's right. He's giving that money out, so that fight can happen. But David's gonna, he's gonna be himself, and but that better be. If what makes him so unique is just him physically and strong, heavy-handed. When he can change the momentum of the fight, one punch, baby. Yeah. Hey man, Benavidez, he's in it for the Benjamin. So yeah, I can see that fight happen. Now that fight should be in Vegas, because Benavidez is starting to get hot. Big win like that, he had a good crowd. But boxing is all about, you got to go where the Benjamins are. You got to go where the fish are biting. And right now, that Turkey, yeah, he's he's putting a lot of money into these guys, and them guys, he's gonna give better. What's that? Benavidez a payday he can't turn down. You know, I'm serious. After that win last night, he's gonna hey, you're in this to make money, baby. It's called prize fighting. You know what I mean? The belts. Yeah, okay. It's the money, baby. It's the money. So,
well, I want to get your take on this. Well, I want to get your take on this, Coach Gogue, because David Benavidez said this after the press conference on last night, after the post-fight press conference. He had this to say. Hold on, let me share this with you. So I want everyone to see this. Okay, here we go. Let me know when you can see this, Coach. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, very good. Here goes.
To be honest with you, that's the one thing they talk about, like Turkey Al-Rashid, and they tell you, would you ever fight with them over there in Riyadh? But at the end of the day, all my fan base is here in Las Vegas. I'm a Las Vegas fighter, you know what I mean? I would love to go over there and fight, but this is my market right here, and I feel like we're doing really well. We just sold out T-Mobile Arena, you know what I mean? It's one of my dream come true, you know what I mean? And I just want to take advantage of this market. I've worked 11 years to. This is my first time having a freaking crowd like that, so I want to stay here. You know, to be honest with you,
Coach, does he have a point? And if you were Louis Tacubas Jr. managing David Benavidez, would you insist that fight take place in Vegas?
I didn't know Louis Tacubas Jr. managed Benavidez. Samson Lekowicz. Samson Lekowicz calls the shots. He's a promoter.
Is his promoter.
Huh?
Yeah. Samson is his promoter.
I didn't know Louis was in his corner. I didn't know that. But you go where the money's at. I don't give a shit what he says, man. They're gonna offer him that fight, and it's not attractive like the offer they're gonna make in Saudi Arabia, man. Who do you think Benavidez is gonna do, man? Shit, man. It's all about the Benjamins, and where are the fish biting? Okay, that's whatever he's saying. Yeah, I would love to fight in Vegas. That would be great. Yeah, but then again,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
go ahead, Gogue.
Yeah, but then again, you know what I mean? If somebody offers you more money, Joe, man, you're in this shit to be, you're in this shit to make as much money as you can by taking the less damage as possible and getting the hell out with your health, man. So, you don't have to, like an NBA player, NFL player, you don't have to, if you manage your money right, invest it right, you ain't got to work no more.
Yep, there it is. I tell you what, guys, before we move forward, guys, and with other Fact or Fiction, let's say hello to our dear friends in the chat. My brother G Funky Boxing. And guys, I want to thank everyone if they went out to see his fight party at Mr. Tequila, Lena Promotions. He says, greetings, Joseph and Coach Gogue, the monster steamrolled Morrell. Well,
that wasn't that easy. I mean, Morrell, Benavidez, you know what I mean? He had to put out a lot of effort.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was steamrolled him. Every round was very competitive. That was a hard fight for both men.
Yeah, it was very hard.
But you could make a case because of the way you score rounds and because of the way you score fights, you could make a case, even though every round was competitive. You could make a case for Benavidez winning 8 or 9 rounds clearly. Coach, how did you score the fight last night?
4 or 5 points for Benavidez ahead. Yeah, he won. Yeah. He won enough rounds. It was unanimous, man. It wasn't, you know what I mean. But what's his name made the fight competitive because he had that, that heart, that fire, to fight back, to make it competitive. You know what I mean. And he had the grit and determination, to handle those big punches Benavidez was hitting him with. You know what I mean. So.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to scroll down and advance to this. JD Spades, welcome to the show, sir. It's good to see you, my friend. He said Morrell needed Coach Gogue in the corner. Maybe not in the corner, but definitely in the gym during camp.
Fuck, you don't need corner. Hell, man, that's too late. Everybody thinks, as a coach, you tell something miraculous is going to happen. Man, fights are won in the gym. All right, that's where the conditioning is developed. That's where the habits are developed. That's where the game plan is developed. That's where the skill sets are developed. Okay, when you go to the fight, man, everything's automatic, man. You know what I mean?
There it is. And Eric R., welcome to the show, sir. It's good to see you in the chat. He says Morrell has a good coach.
Yeah,
he'll figure it out. Indeed, guys. Look, I think, do you think just Morrell, even though he has that many amateur fights, he just doesn't have he's still a young kid. He's 26, barely 27. Coach, do you think he's just too young for this assignment?
He's inexperienced. He was inexperienced going into. He only got 11 fights, man. Come on, man. He ain't got a lot of amateur.
Yep.
He ain't got and all his fights have been one-sided, where he was asking all the questions. He wasn't answering no questions. But last night he answered a lot of questions to me. He showed me the toughness and heart and the competitive spirit in him. Now, the skill sets he can learn. He's so athletically gifted and talented. But, as a coach, it's your responsibility to add the added dimensions to his game that he's missing. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
There it is. There it is, guys. There it is. I tell you what, let's go back to the chat. Bruce, Gas Boxing, Jazz and more. Salute, Joe. Salute to you, my friend. Good to see you, brother. And G Funky says, Coach Gogue, if you were in Sacramento, I would have gotten you into my fight party for free. Yeah,
don't worry. I watched it for free here in Mexico at my house. ESPN 2 knockouts. Yeah.
There it is. Punchy, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you, my friend. And Bruce Gas says, yep, Gogue cooking tonight. Always does.
Thanks, Bruce.
Always does. And Logan almost won the Royal Rumble last night. Well, dude, he's going to make a lot more money in one night with his brother on HBO Max than he ever has with the WWE. That's facts, guys. That's facts.
Is this a boxing contest or a wrestling contest?
It's going to be boxing, brother.
Oh, okay. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
But at HBO, they're not interested in boxing. And then the fight that they do get back into boxing, it's Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Seeing out, Coach. That says it all now in the American market now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much a niche market now. Nobody gives a shit about it.
Well, Jesus M says, saludos, Coach. Good to see you. Thank you for supporting the channel this day, brother. And Outlaw, welcome to the show, sir. He says, I'm sorry, JoJo and Coach Gogue. Good to see you, my friend. And he says, that's my favorite WWE event, the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't get any better than, in my opinion, the Thanksgiving tradition Survivor Series. That's always been my favorite. Always like to see the creative tag matches. Those are my favorite. Hold on. Bruce also says, Gogue looks like he's sitting in a Mexican prison. Bruce, you're speaking from experience, and you know how that looks.
Nah, I'm at my house, in my dining room.
And SSB Diving says Benavidez' defense was on point last night. He's very underrated. Coach Gogue
just had his hands up blocked. He had his hands up nice and close, tucked in to block all those punches on the side of his forearm and the side of his gloves. And he caught most of them. Not a lot of them penetrated. Yeah.
And Jesus M says, Coach, how was Benavidez not letting Morrell get into rhythm or get any momentum? What was he doing that was so effective?
Morrell had his moments in the fight. Yeah, man. I mean, he showed me some competitive, heart and will. Put his combinations together. Basically,
yeah.
Man,
Look, guys. Look, guys. I don't understand. Yeah, but look, Coach, I don't understand why everyone, I think they're reading the scorecards as a gauge to how non-competitive the fight was, but it was really competitive. Each round was very competitive. Yeah. A lot of close rounds, but once again, you could make a case for Benavidez winning 8 or 9 rounds. That doesn't mean that the fight wasn't competitive, guys.
It was competitive.
Look, a fight could be a one-sided blowout, 7 rounds. Like, look, let's put it this way. Last night's fight, in my opinion, was a lot closer than the third fight between Pacquiao and Marquez, which I thought Marquez won that fight. The 5 rounds that he won were overwhelmingly in favor of Marquez. And the 7 rounds that Pacquiao won were very close and competitive. Yet he won more rounds. That's how you score a fight. That's why everyone felt he got robbed. Guys, are we going to have to go over how to score a fight tomorrow? Because if it's 7-5, that doesn't mean, oh, man, it was really close. And if it's 9-3, that doesn't mean it was a blowout. James, do you have anything to add here? Because I get tired of talking about this.
Nah, man, Joe. Nah, I don't want to talk about it, man.
Yeah, very good, my friend. Very good. Tell you what, guys, it was a great fight. Both men had their moments, and it was a brutal chess match, and I loved it. Guys, is there a need for a rematch, though, Gogue?
It's competitive. You know, would it warrant a rematch? Well, it depends on how many pay-per-view buys it did. If it stunk, which I think, and there wasn't a lot of it wasn't a lot of controversy in the fight. It was obvious that Morrell won. Okay.
Yep. Or Benavidez. Yeah, it was obvious.
Benavidez.
Yeah, but once again, each round was very competitive. There weren't very many blowout rounds in favor of either man. Right? And there it is, guys. There it is. Charles, welcome to the show, sir. He says, salute, guys. I believe, like Morrell, he didn't use his jab and hit to the body as much as I thought he would. That's exactly what Gogue was saying in the beginning of the show. There it is. Boxing for Life. Welcome to the show, sir. He says, Coach Gogue, I think Beterbiev, Canelo, and Bivol all beat Benavidez. What say you, Coach?
I don't know about Canelo. Maybe the other two. Beterbiev and Bivol, yeah.
Yep. There it is. There it is, guys.
This is 175 now. Okay, it's different. All right.
Yep. Guys, let's move on, guys. And once again, here to there, it says they will cross paths again when more is at stake. Yeah, and when Morrell grows up and gets more experience. There it is. There it is. I tell you what, let's get another Fact or Fiction in. Here's your next Fact or Fiction, Coach. Brandon Figueroa is beyond shot. Fact or Fiction, sir?
First stage of being shot. Okay, he's beyond shot is when your punch resistance is gone. When your equilibrium in your brain is no longer functioning. When your balance is no longer there. He's not there yet, but he's on the first stage. First stage meaning he can't pull the trigger when he has to. He, like yesterday in the fight, which was. He got inside. All he did was like this, put his head right on the side of Fulton's head, and was fucking garbage. There was no technique. There was no execution of any strategy or technique, game plan whatsoever. Man, he didn't pull the trigger when he had to. That's to me showing the signs of a fighter that's eroding in his skills, which leads to being a shot fighter. When you become a totally shot fighter, is when your punch resistance is gone. Your equilibrium in your brain can't take, you get hit, you're on your ass. You know what I mean? That's a shot fighter when you're getting hit with everything because your defenses, reflexes are gone, a.k.a. Wilfredo Benitez. By the time he was like 25, 26 years old, yeah, he was shot. Yeah. And age has nothing to do with it, okay? Age, age. Everybody's different. Don Chargan, I told you guys a lot on this show. His champion, Mondo Ramos, a young phenom, champion at 19, was shot when he was 21. He was done. Yeah.
Yep. Guys, speaking of shot, two guys who might be shot very soon. Boy, that was a war last night. Fact or Fiction coach Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Angel Fierro will have a rematch of their barn burner in May on the undercard of Canelo versus Skull. Fact or Fiction, sir?
Good fight, but PBC has just too many fighters they got to get fights for, man. You know what I mean? And that'll probably be their last show from what I heard. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
you know.
Yep, guys. And once again, it's, yeah, I mean, look, Amazon Prime can't be happy with what they're getting in return.
We'll see what the pay-per-view numbers for Benavidez is. I don't think it's going to be any good. So, you know.
Yeah, I can't see it being, I don't think it even crossed the 100,000 threshold, Coach Gogue.
I don't think it's
We'll
so
see what
either.
happens, guys.
He's not.
Go ahead.
He's not mainstream, man. Benavidez boxing. A lot of these guys can't put it. Can't move that needle like Jake Paul right now. He's the only one I see moving that needle when it comes to pay-per-view. I'm Canelo, you know, but that's it. Tank Davis, he's known. It's a known fact. He can't move that pay-per-view needle unless he has a dance partner like Ryan Garcia or Leo Santa Cruz. Other than that, you've seen his numbers.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Next factor fiction, Coach. Jesus Ramos Jr. is overrated.
Oh, jeez. Just terrible last night. In fact, when that fight came on the first round or so, I'm like, God, Lee, this. I went back to, I was taking a nap, woke up just to watch it. I went back to take my nap. So, before the a Pitbull Cruz fight. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. Number 5, Coach. Jerron Boots Ennis will lose a controversial split decision to current WBA 147-pound champ Amantas Staniones on April 12th. Fact or fiction, sir?
It's a tough fight for Boots Ennis because, number one, that guy has a very proficient jab. Consistent. It's consistent, sharp and stingy in your face. All right. A guy, and he's a good, and he's coming forward with a nice tight high guard defense to penetrate with a good jab. That's going to be a good tough fight for Enos. I wonder what his game plan going into it and how he adjusts to it and everything. That's a tough fight for Boots Enos, and especially if he's having problems making weight and he's not at full strength. But this fucking Stenanus, man, that motherfucker don't fight. He you know what I mean? He fights as much as, you know what I mean?
Fights once a year, Coach.
Yeah. Less than that. Yeah.
Less than that on average, yeah. I think he's fought twice in the last 3 years. Yep. Next one. Next. Final factor fiction, Coach. Excuse me. Canelo will never face anyone at 175 pounds ever again unless they move down to super middleweight and meet him there. Fact or fiction, sir?
Who knows? Who knows? Whatever Canelo wants to do, he could do whatever he wants, man. He's his own franchise, a professional franchise. If he finds somebody at 75 he thinks he could beat like he thought he would do with Bevo, he'll do it.
And there it is. Coach, here to there says, why did Figueroa try to box with Fulton at points?
Well, I was looking at this interview. He's saying he was trying to add more dimensions to his game. I guess that was one of the dimensions he was trying to add to his game. I laughed.
Oh, Chinga.
How the hell are you going to learn how to box, all of a sudden in one fight that you didn't do your whole career, amateur or pro? Learning how to box at range and distance takes years to learn. It's a skill set. Okay. It's it takes, there's a lot of nuances to the game to learning how to fight at range and distance, and coming up to the amateurs, amateurs is the best way to learn how to box, 3-round fights. Most of the fight is fought at range and distance. Then, when you turn pro, you got to learn all that. You just don't all of a sudden try to do it in one fight. I fucking laugh. I go, he looks like shit doing it. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, him lunging in like that from mid-range, Coach.
Terrible.
That was embarrassing, Coach.
Yeah.
And SSB Diving says, Coach, who should Morrell fight next? What do you think, Anthony Yard?
No, they'll find somebody, man. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. They'll find somebody, man.
Okay,
I wonder. the question you got to ask yourself: what's PBC? Where they're going to go? Where are they going to go to next? You know what I mean?
Look, if Turkey Al Sheikh does not buy them out, they are OOB, my friend.
Yeah.
There it is. Last question, Gogie. Now Canelo fanboys are saying Benavidez was cheating by peeling Morrell's guard to land punches. What say you, Coach Gogie? Is that ridiculous?
I mean, going like this.
That's a crafty veteran move, isn't it?
They've been doing that shit since the olden days, man. It ain't nothing new.
Yep.
Lomachenko brought it back
Yep.
to life. You know, when he started, people started seeing that. But the old time fighters, they did that. You know, they get touch you with the jab, touch you on the outside of your lead hand, then just pull it. You know, throw that right hand, boom. That's how you created an opening. It's not cheating about that.
That's it. That's it. Jose Barrera, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day. He says, salute, coach. Who do you have between Beterbiev and Bivol in 3 weeks, sir?
Better be a physical strength. This time it's going to really wear on Bivol. All right.
There it is.
It's going to really wear down on Bivol because that boy, man, he just physically poses his will, insanely strong, and that jab of his is, it's like getting hit with the right hand, and it's consistent. Yeah.
There it is, guys. That's going to be it for tonight. So we don't want to get Gogie tired of the show.
Oh, that went by fast. Anything else you want to talk about, Joe? Because next week we're going to be on the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah, well, look, we can talk all about the fight card coming up on the 22nd because there are so many fights. Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. There's the main event, the sequel, the rematch between Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. And then you've got Zhilei Zhang versus Ajit Kabayel.
And you got Shakir Stevenson against Floyd Schofield.
Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield Jr. That is one of the best cards I think we've ever seen, at least since the 70s.
Yeah, good card. Who is Joseph Parker fighting?
He's fighting the current IBF champion, Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
Oh, good fight. And you got Beterbiev, Bivol. Who else you got?
You've got Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov at 54.
That's a solid fight. Who else?
You've got Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang, your favorite Chinaman, versus undefeated German puncher, the guy who knocked out Frank Sanchez, Ajit Kabayel.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got David Morrell's possible next opponent, Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi.
Oh, Buatsi. Yeah, well, Buatsi hasn't done shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown me shit. Anyway, he's fighting on the card, Buatsi.
Callum Smith, the guy who Canelo wrecked in San Antonio.
Yeah, but he's fighting Buatsi, huh?
Yeah, at 175. Great fight. Great fight. Great style matchup.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's a pivotal fight for both people, right?
Yeah. More for Buatsi. Callum Smith been a champion before. All right.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what. Hold on. My brother Ryan Singleton, my brother in Christ. Good to see you, my friend. Said, love you, Joe. Love you, Coach. Great to hear you both. Great to see you in the chat, my friend. Tell you what. Hope you enjoyed all the fights last night, brother. And Low Clarity says, I think I got Smith in that one. We'll see. We'll see. Buatsi's no slouch, guys. And that's going to be it, guys. Coach, any point shots for our listening audience?
Is Virgil still training Buatsi?
Virgil Hunter, yes.
Oh, he is. Okay. All right. But he ain't shown me shit, Buatsi. I mean, nothing for me to like, wow.
Well, I don't know what else to say, sir. It just will. Yeah, but on the 22nd, it's a great card, though, guys.
Oh, Top Rank got a good card too with Keyshawn with Barenchik.
Oh, February 14th. That's coming up in just 2 weeks. That's going to be, oh boy, Keyshawn Davis. His biggest fight, his biggest opportunity against a very tough Denis Barenchik. Very awkward Ukrainian. He's a good fighter. It's a tough fight. And then
Solid
you've got the
fighter.
return of big baby Jarrell or Jared Anderson. And then you've got Vito Milnecki Jr. moving up to middleweight and taking on the very crafty Connor Coyle.
How about Bruce
That's a very
Carrington?
good
He's
card.
fighting Bruce Parrington's in a tough
Carrington,
fight
that's
too.
right. Uh-huh.
He's fighting Enrique Vivas, tough physical pressure fighter from Mexico. Yeah, it's a great style matchup. Great style matchup.
Yep.
This fight right here, that Vivas has a style, physical style to make Carrington perform at the superstar level. His skill sets, Carrington's skill sets are made for that Vivas guy. Yeah.
Tell you what, though, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do at 126, Coach.
Who?
Shushu Carrington.
He'll fucking beat that Fulton, no problem.
Yeah.
This is a good fight. This is a good physical match. Brad put him up. Put him in. It's a good matchup. It's the same type of fucking fighters we fight here in Mexico City. Guys that are just rough, tough, physical, and come right at you. Yeah. That physical, look, when you're fighting them physical, tough pressure fighters, and if they can take your punch and they start taking you in the back half of the fight, yeah, they test your character as a fighter. It reveals your character as a fighter. That's one of the best ways to season a fighter is with guys like this. Well, we've been fighting these motherfuckers in Mexico City all the time, and my guys, we're used to it, man. It's second nature. It's like riding a bike, you know what I mean? But a lot of guys in the States don't fight these type of styles, or spar them in the gym, you know what I mean? But yeah, we every day, that's all we face is these tough physical pressure fighters in the gym or in the fight. So it's like when we fight them, their comfort level's high because I taught them the skill sets. I taught them the IQ. I taught them the tactics. I'm knowing how to fight guys that come right at you, that stay in your chest. Like, easy work.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you something, Coach. Let me ask you something. Keyshawn Davis, will he have trouble? Should he be concerned about this fight with Dennis Baranchyk coming up in 2 weeks?
Very slick, intelligent boxer, moves in and out of range, he moves in and out of range to be predictable. He just doesn't come forward or just move back. He'll move in and out. Just, he'll move into range and, once you try to counter, he'll move out of range. Just fucks your rhythm up, man. You know what I mean? He's very crafty. Keyshawn, to me, he's going to have to step it up. Put the pressure on. Don't give him that chance to use his footwork to create that space he wants. Take away that space and maybe cut off the ring and all that. But he's going to have to apply that slow, steady pressure, and don't get caught in an over aggressive manner, meaning lunging in because he'll step back and counter you. And not a big puncher at all, but a very crafty, smart fighter. Yeah, that what's the name? Baranchyk? Is that his name?
Dennis Baranchyk, yes.
Yeah, but he fought a guy like what's that guy's name? Navarrete. So fucking predictable. But Davis is a different animal, man. Okay, athletically gifted, long, rangy, speed, power, reflexes, good skill sets, inside fighting. Body punching. Bo Mack and his crew's done a great job with this kid. Yeah.
Indeed. Can't wait to see it, guys. It takes place in 2 weeks on Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th. One more question, Coach. Well, look, I didn't even think about this. Coach, if somehow Dimitri Bivol actually wins and we have to see a rubber match, it's going to keep those two guys busy at light heavyweight. Where does David Benavidez go and who does he fight for a big payday? Does he move up to fight Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight, Coach?
That's the money, Joe. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. All right. It's all about the Benjamins.
And I think that's a great fight, Coach.
Honestly, I haven't seen Zurdo Ramirez fight. I heard he looked good his last few fights. Maybe I'll take a look at him, man. But I haven't seen him. The cruiserweight division just doesn't. What do you call it?
Yeah,
interests me.
Guys, speaking of not interesting me, guys, the only thing that interested me was seeing my brother Thomas Triber as a ring announcer for this event. I have to tell you guys, Clarissa Shields just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, she's fighting tonight, Groundhog's Day, February 2nd,
I didn't
in
know
Flint,
that.
Michigan. Yeah.
Huh.
Last question, though, in case everyone wants to watch it. JD Spade says, Coach Gogue, who wins? Teofimo Lopez now with Eddie Reynoso or Richardson Hitchens at 140?
It's a tough fight for Teofimo because you got Hitchison long and rangy, athletically gifted. Yeah. And Teofimo hasn't fought in a long time, and Reynoso ain't gonna do shit. He don't, the kid is just naturally gifted. He's gonna fight the way he wants to fight. Okay, adding Reynoso ain't gonna do nothing, man.
Yep. Just gonna get him in shape. That's it.
Yeah, the dad is always gonna be there, and the dad's always gonna, have the upper hand. So just bringing in Reynoso, because it's Canelo and everything ain't gonna do shit.
It's a good marketing ploy, but that's about it, guys. And look, honestly, that Richardson Hitchens fight is going to be like watching paint dry, guys. Two counterpunchers staring at each other to see who makes the first move. No thanks.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that, Coach?
Well, Lopez, he's got a lot of natural innate talent you can't teach. His creativity. The way he makes adjustments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He's got to get past that long Hitchison jab first for him to be effective. You know what I mean? He can't just lay on the outside and let Hitchison work that long jab in his face. You know what I mean? And not letting him get off. So we'll see. I never even thought about that fight. I didn't even know they were fighting, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's not official yet. Teofimo still has to agree to his side of the deal. So we'll see what happens, guys, but that's about it. Coach Gogue, your parting shot, sir.
We'll be back after the Super Bowl, to talk about what the fuck's that fight. The 14th is top rank card, I think, yeah.
Yep, Dennis Baranchyk versus Keyshawn Davis.
That's a solid matchup, man. Keyshawn Davis, like I said, he's got that hunger to be the next superstar in boxing. You got to beat guys like Baranchyk to do that. And he's been looking very impressive, Keyshawn. He's got my attention.
Very good. He's got all of our attention, and hopefully they get to make that Tank Davis fight before the little man retires. But I'll tell you what, Coach Gogue, last question. Who do you like in this year's Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm going for the Eagles, baby. I don't want the Chiefs. I don't want the Chiefs to win 3 in a row, man. I want the Eagles. I think with Saquon Barkley, you got to have a good running attack when you're in the playoffs, and you got a horse like Saquon. Yeah, man, it makes a difference. Then with Jalen Hurts running the ball too, yeah.
Oh yeah,
a double threat, baby. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. In my opinion, I've said this before, weeks ago, guys, before the playoffs even started. Saquon Barkley, the MVP, this year's MVP of the league.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He is
difference maker.
Yep, and you're gonna see it during the Super Bowl. But that's about it, guys. On behalf of the great James Gogue, guy with the best set of eyes in the business, bar none. I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio with